Hey guys, I'm Kevin Carter. In today's video, if you couldn't already tell by the getup we got going on, it's going to be on Fire Force, and more specifically, the manga and why I think it's rather fire, per se. But why do I like Fire Force? Well, that's kind of interesting. There's a lot of reasons on why it's very good, but there's also some criticism that I would like to levy to it. So, without further ado, let's get right to it. But before we get out the way, there will be spoilers in this video, so maybe if you want to read the manga like I did, or watch the anime, you might want to skip out on this because there will be some spoilers. Note, the series still is ongoing, so you can catch up, but I don't want you to be spoiled, so watch out for that. The first thing I want to talk about is the characters, and how some of them are very good, and then some are very poor. Now, this is actually really polarizing whenever I read this, because sometimes with characters such as Arthur, Benimaru, or Shinra, I would be entranced, everything, by how good the character writing is, how funny they are, how cool they are. I loved it. But then we get characters like Tamaki, and Tamaki sucks. Tamaki is really bad. She's by far, she's awful. And characters like her, they really drag us down. Like Lich, he's also not that good of a character, and he really drags down the experience for me. And that's the weird thing about Fire Force. It can go to having amazing characters to having awful ones that aren't fun at all. And when you have to spend time on those awful characters, what's the point? Moving on from the characters, we then go to the story, and the story, honestly, is kinda iffy. Basically, the bad guys want to destroy the Earth to make Earth a sun. Why? It's because of the sun god. And the story goes into a lot of religious themes, and has even said in the story at this point, Shinra is basically the new Jesus. And it doesn't sit all that well with me. It's just weird saying like, yeah, our main character, he's Jesus, by the way. You can't argue against that. He is Jesus. And it's strange reading that. There is a lot of interesting depth for some of the character writing, but for the most part, it's kind of mid. Especially when you compare to things such as Demon Slayer, Fire Force's story just doesn't hold up for how long it is. It's not awful or anything, there are far worse stories you could read, but it's kind of mid. But you want to know what isn't mid? The fights. This is a shonen manga. Everything you want to know is the fights. You want the fights, you want the good stuff. You want the fights? This manga has the fights. Arthur versus the dragon, one of the best fights I've read in manga in a long time. Organ versus Charon, it's an amazing fight. Benimaru versus Master, an amazing fight. Shinra versus Sho, it's an amazing fight. All these fights are amazing, and that's what draws me into Fire Force and why I say it's fire. Because all these fights are really, really good. There's not a single dud fight except one. It's Tamaki versus Hunter, awful fight. But it's Tamaki. We already know she's awful. So, but overall, fights are amazing. And if you want to watch the anime for the amazing fights, or read the manga for the amazing fights, I would recommend it because it's really good. Another thing that has to be mentioned, that can't go unmentioned, is the art. The art for Fire Force is insane, honestly. It's some of the best art I've ever seen. You look at the detail on the characters' faces, the shading, depth they all have. Look at this picture of the lieutenant in Charon. It's phenomenal. Look at this picture of Benimaru. It's amazing. And the art never misses. All the fire particle effects with the art looks amazing. Captain Burns, when he's slowly evolving in his fire, looks insane. All these characters have great designs. The art's just super good. And it's so pretty to look at. And it's one of the best looking manga I've read in a while. It's one of my favorite pieces of art. Just behind Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. And of course, Dragon Ball, which is never gonna be top. Another thing that should be mentioned is the character writing is pretty good for the most part, kinda in the same line of story. Characters like Benimaru, Arthur, Shinra, they're all getting really good character development. Even Maki gets really good character development, the Lieutenant's very well written, Organ's great, Juggernaut's great, all the characters are really good. Even the bad guys are fairly sympathetic, like Charon, he's sympathetic, it's really good. Not all the character writing is good, because once again, Tamaki, but for the most part, it's very solid. It's maybe better than the story for the most part. And coming to the final section of the video, should you read it? Personally, I don't know. I really enjoy watching fights and really good art in my manga, so this was a really fun, enjoyable for me. But if you're looking for a really deep story that's going to have you thinking after you finish, I don't know. it's not that. If you want that, go read Demon Slayer or Full Metal Alchemist. But if you want some really nice art, you want some really good fights, you want some nice animation in the anime, go read/watch Fire Force, because it's amazing. Anyway, end card time. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.